So Marianne, again, we're very, very happy to have you here. Welcome to Emtec, and thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you very much.
Now, Coyote has been described as relentless and unwavering in their goals. Do you think the women of Coyote offer something an all-male workforce might not to this tenacious spirit?
I certainly think women have a unique take on being unwavering in their goals. They add to it, so do gentlemen, regardless of gender, but women take on assignments and challenges with unstoppable force. So certainly they bring a blend to the culture and to the company, and that's mostly their tenacious spirit and their spirit of never giving up and never quitting, despite the fact that it's a primarily male-dominated industry. So often I think diversity is just considered gender and race. From a diversity perspective, we not only look at those two factors, but diversity of thought. Again, where does the person come from? What major did they study, or what's their areas of interest? And by giving and taking people from different backgrounds, but also giving them permission that their ideas and their thoughts are welcomed, and putting them around the table together to, group think or to share ideas. I mean, I love the perspective from an engineer sitting next to a marketing person. I think fostering diversity that way, again, keeps us moving forward thinking, and also diversity is celebrating all those things. It's recognizing that someone's thought process may be different, but again, permission and the ability to listen to other people's perspectives is how we foster diversity.
In your opinion, Marianne, what will be the biggest challenge of the generation of women behind us?
I mean, I think they'll face some of the same challenges that we face now. I think women have to learn a couple of things that traditionally we don't do very well. One is to raise your hand and to get in there and to put yourself in whatever avenue or arena that is. But we tend to kind of sit back and wait to be invited to something or get permission to be where we want to be. Teaching young women in our next generation how to deal with conflict, and I don't necessarily mean, of war or some great cause, but we have to have conversation, and we're going to have to learn how to deal with differences from a diversity perspective, and learning how to constructively deal with someone else's opinion who is different from us. I think stereotypically a bit, women tend to back down and not engage in the argument, and some of the best ways to learn is to listen to opposing opinions. So I think teaching our young women how to appropriately deal with conflict and not back down or away from it. And of course that doesn't mean we're going to raise warrior princesses by any means, but just to be able to get in the game and listen, again, is a very important skill. I think making sure that they have the confidence to explore anything that they want from a young age, from technology and math and all the things that traditionally women don't tend to go into. I think that challenge is still very relevant, but you can see the differences in focusing. Storytelling, we need to promote women. We need to tell stories of success and failure and give our young women confidence and role models or mentors to look towards. So those are some of the things that are challenging, I think. Again, it's that confidence and the ability. Women have harder choices. They have, if they can have I'm going to do it all. I'm going to have a successful career. I'm going to raise a family. I think I would love to see the change where women don't have to have perfect everything. I think we get so hung up on I'm not doing everything perfectly that it really stops us or prevents us from reaching our full potential. And forgiveness. We tend not to forgive ourselves, and we tend to kind of hang on to things a little bit too long. Not every day is going to be an A day, and not every decision you make with your family is going to be perfect, but it's okay. So I think teaching and working on forgiving ourselves, and again, that confidence in putting ourselves out there would be things I would like to see changed.
What is, in your opinion, the most significant barrier to female leadership then?
I think one of the most significant barriers is definitely our own confidence. I think we see that time and time again, to be able to say, I have all the skills that is needed for this particular role or job or leadership position. Just stand up and take a step forward and ask for that job or demand that job. I think it's confidence, and I think we're seeing it change year over year over year. We see different programs that are available for women, opportunities in sports that didn't exist many, many years ago, and that raises the confidence level. Starting our young women, even as young in preschool, is learning how to present yourself in that self-confidence, I think definitely is emerging and changing, and things that we need to continue to work on with our young women. So I'm the youngest of 5. I have all brothers. I have 7 children. I have 6 boys. I am surrounded by men. But certainly superheroes, whether they were real or characters or in books or novels or in history, I have many. But I'd always have to go back to my mom. She was definitely my superhero, and she didn't save the world, but she made it okay for me to feel confident about who I was or who I was going to be, and gave me that permission to step forward and ask for things that I wanted. Certainly I could pick historical perspectives, but I think the relationship between a mother and a daughter certainly sets young women on a path for success, and my mom was certainly responsible for mine.
That is very nice to hear, and I'm sure she enjoys hearing from you.
When you have to fail or skin your knees in life, and she said that over and over again. And part of trying something and not doing it well or failing at it is more about how you pick yourself up and go on to the next thing and learn from whatever that occasion was or whatever occurrence had happened. And she would always say, just dust yourself off and get back in there. And I take that and I think about that all the time on decision making or even with my own family. So that courage to just say, you know what, it's okay, I made a mistake, or this is what I've learned from it, and this is how I'm going to move forward.
Right.
I think it's so important, again, for that role model. And we learned so much in life through storytelling. If you talk about role models or superheroes, when you see images and stories or hear them or see them on TV, and again, some of these role models can be, characters, but sports figures, mine, another one was, I was a gymnast growing up, so Mary Lou Retton was my hero. And just to watch someone else and see their success, then you believe. At some point you have that feeling like, I can accomplish that as well. So this day in celebrating women is about telling those stories and giving people confidence to say, wow, she did it, I can do it too.
What has been the best or the worst decision, or both, that you've made in shaping your career?
Ooh, there are lots of best decisions, thankfully. 2 things come to mind. The first was the second job that I took out of school. I came out of school thinking I wanted to be in a very traditional or Fortune 500 world. When I got there, I didn't particularly think that was the right place for me. So I took a chance on a young startup company in an industry that I had no experience in, which happens to be logistics, and fell in love with it. And we really got to build the company from the ground up once, and now I have the opportunity to do it again. So starting Coyote would have to be truly one of the best decisions I've made. Worst decisions? I always have to think, and no decision is worse, thankfully, if it doesn't affect health or serious things. You have to learn from those decisions. And those are powerful moments when you make a decision that maybe wasn't the right one to make. But again, it's that resiliency. Like, how quickly can you get over that? You may fail, but fail fast and move on. Because if you sit in that place where you're worried about what you did, you're not moving forward. I think you have to go back to that passion. I mean, yes, there's necessity where you have to do certain things to support your family or support yourself. But there are countless opportunities out there. Don't give up and don't stay complacent. If it's not the right thing for you, or you go to work or have something that you're doing that you are so unhappy about, make that change. Sometimes it takes a lot of courage to make that change. Look for things outside of your comfort zone. But I would say keep pushing yourself and don't settle. So often we hear of people, not necessarily just women, but women that settle into something. From the inside out, you've just got to keep pushing and keep your eyes open and be a curious learner. I think when you're curious about everything that happens, you'll find something that's right for you. You know, I think the message for women in general, again, is to be present, be in the game, celebrate each other. It takes, and I hate to use other people's terms, but it does take a village. And I think women in general, as a community, also have to stop with the I can do it all and lean on each other a little bit more, creating a great network of not only friends but colleagues, and all those things intertwining. I think we can excel and just take on the world.
I think so too. Thank you again, Marianne. I really appreciate your time. You've given up almost half a day for us today, so greatly
My pleasure.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.